Ladies and gentlemen, check this out. Joyful, joyful deli and desserts. I am trying sweets today. Ladies and gentlemen, I am having an amazing time because sweets are my love language. Today, I'm sitting down with the owner of Joyful Deli and Desserts, and we're talking about the sweeter side of Ghana and how to have sweet success in business. So what's up everybody, it's your man Timswain. I told you, in this series, we're talking about the sweeter side of Ghana. And I've been so blessed to come across this place. My son in here actually came here, we ate some delicious treats, and I had to sit down with the owner to talk about the process. So Joy, thank you so much for being with me today.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. And for the folks who may not know you, please introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Joy Osei Nsafwa. I have been in Ghana since 2012, and I started Joyful, I think, the December. I moved here in the summer of 2012. I started Joyful the December of 2012, and it started mainly as a part-time, whilst I was looking for my corporate job, kind of a business, and I was serving mainly friends and family. And over the years, it just kept on growing and growing and growing, and now we're here.
Wow. So, a lot of people hear these stories and they always want the backstory. How did you get the idea? Blah, 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 blah. But for me, I want to go way back.
Okay.
Because off camera, we were talking about your transition back to Ghana.
Mm-hmm.
And you're born and raised in Ghana, but
Yes.
you left for a while.
Yeah.
So talk about where you went and a little bit about that process.
Okay, so when I was 11, we moved to London. We were in London for about 15, 16 years, something like that. And then I moved back here when I was late 20s. In London after university and masters, it was around the time of the recession, the global recession. The credit crash had happened. Getting jobs was very difficult. So I think I was there for about a year after my masters without finding, I would say, a graduate job.
Okay.
So I made a decision, because my mom was getting a bit older as well. I made a decision that I would want to move back to Ghana and then try it here instead. But just before I moved, I had started, baking for fun, just to fill my time and stuff. I didn't ever think of it as a professional job or as a business or anything like that. It was just going to be, something that I was doing as a hobby. And when I moved to Ghana, I don't know, it just seems to have taken off.
Wow. Okay, so you say you were baking for fun.
Yeah.
Now, you also went to university, so do you have a background in like culinary arts or hospitality? So how does this all fit into this side?
So I would say the inspiration mainly for baking came in secondary school. So I had an amazing secondary school food technology teacher. So she taught us the science of baking. So we did a lot of sensory analysis, taste testing, those kinds of things, and just recipe development. So we'd do a recipe, sit down, analyze it, what went right, what went wrong, how could we improve it. So I think that just sparked something in me. So when I went to university, I did food science and business. So I did more food manufacturing, because I wanted and I saw myself going more into a food production kind of a job. I was looking at maybe developing foods that would be sold in supermarkets, etc. So that's where my interest really lay. But as I said, after university, getting jobs, and then I just went into baking. And with my background in food technology and development, I think it just became a bit easier for me to create a business that would innovate.
Okay. So walk us through the process. You have some experience in the food sciences and what may have you, and obviously that's a big difference than actually having a business. So what was maybe the definitive moment, if there was one, where you said, okay, I think I need to take this passion into a business?
Okay, so when I moved in 2012, I think I handed out probably about 100 CVs or so. I had been handing out CVs about 2 years before I actually finally moved to Ghana. So every summer I was coming to Ghana. I would come with my CVs, I'd go around, I'd look for jobs, I'd apply online, I did everything that you were supposed to do. Jobs in Africa, everything. I applied on every kind of forum possible. And so when I came here and I wasn't getting what I would call the role I was looking for, I was just baking as a hobby. And I realized that, you know, the moment I actually started was around the time that Instagram started taking off. So when we started, I created an Instagram business profile. And at that time, there weren't that many businesses on Instagram. So I think that was probably the first year really for businesses on Instagram. And it seemed like we were generating a lot of orders from Instagram and from WhatsApp. And so I think that would be the genesis really of the business. So I was just doing things in my spare time. And then I realized I was actually getting busier and busier. And I was like, I really need to take this seriously. I guess people would say I'm a bit of a serious person anyway. So the moment I started, I knew that, we have to focus on this and do it well. The year after that, I went back into corporate work, but I never stopped.
Okay, so what was your mentality in terms of separating yourself from every other, because you know bakeries in Ghana are like, there are plenty everywhere. So how, when you went into this business, did you have a mentality that said, okay, I need to be different from everyone else? And if so, where did that, you don't have to share all your secrets, but where did that mentality come from and said, okay, I want to be different, or what may have you?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't watch many bakeries here.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at what everybody else was doing. I was just thinking of, you know, if I'm looking for somewhere to go, some things to buy, what do I like? And it's funny because literally every product in this shop is something that I absolutely adore. So it's not driven by customer requests per se. It's driven by my love for desserts. What kind of flavors that I like to try. What kind of cakes, what kind of donuts, just what I don't find here that I would miss and I would love and I would want to have. So that's really been what has driven the business. It's mainly just what I love that I think other people would also love as well.
Okay, so now you have to talk us through what you have available. My weakness is desserts. That's actually why I'm doing this series, because that's my weakness. I thought it would be a great opportunity for me to cheat on my diet, and I could just say it's work. So let's talk about what kind of treats do you have here? Okay,
so we started with cupcakes. That was like the first thing that we did. And then within about a month or so, people started asking for full cakes. So we did cupcakes and full cakes. But I love cheesecake. I'm a cheesecake addict. Really? So we added cheesecakes because I want cheesecakes. So those were our three main products. And then along the line, I was like, I'd like a brownie. And so we added brownies. And then I like a cookie. We added cookies. And then I think I saw a donut online. And I was like, no, I have to have that. And so we added donuts. And funny enough, donuts have become what we're most known for now. Yeah. So our donuts are probably what 90% of our customers come for now.
So that means that's the thing I have to try.
Oh, you do. It's one of those things that if you didn't know about Joyful maybe 2 or 3 years ago, you would think that that's the only products that we did. It's overtaking everything. Yeah.
I have to try doing that. So you have this business. It's operating. What are some of those, you don't have to get into everything, but maybe what are some of those realistic challenges of trying to start and sustain a profitable business here in Ghana?
Okay, I would say you need to understand how to hedge. So obviously Ghana is a big import market, so business is affected heavily by what the dollar rate is, what the pound rate is, because a lot of the things are imported. So you need to understand, okay, if I'm going to be producing for this year, how much do I want to charge for this particular product? How much do I think at the end of the year this is going to be costing me? So I think one thing that our customers can testify to is that we don't change our prices that often. So we set a price, and then that's our price for at least a minimum of a year. So we will hedge for a year that this might happen, this might happen, this is how it was going to fluctuate, etc. Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Then why is that so important, right? Hedging and having consistent prices.
It's important because your customers need to have a certain level of trust in you. It's one thing to go into a shop and this costs 5 cedis today, and then the next day you go, it costs 7 cedis, and then the next day you go, it costs 9 cedis. Yes, it's true that you're paying your suppliers and things are increasing, but the customers look for some kind of a consistency from someone, and if you are the one who gives it to them, they can put you into their budget, and if they can put you into their budget, they will come more often.
I was telling someone that when I was talking with some folks about relocating to Ghana, and I was explaining to them how I paid my electricity bill, and they were shocked back in the States because we had something called budget billing, which is basically if you don't want your rate to be like $100 one month or $50 one month, the electricity company will say, okay, we'll pay $70 every month. And at the end of the year, if you've overpaid, we'll give you a credit. But if you've underpaid, you have to pay the extra. And they were shocked. And I was saying, the reality is it's all about the consistency. Because people like myself, listen, I can pay $70 every month for electricity because I know it's there. But when it goes up and down, I don't like all that. So if you come to Ghana and it's like, you may really love the product, but when you come and it's like, oh, master, why is this? And then for me being conscious of being, coming from the States, it's like, oh, are you giving me this or Bruni price or blah, 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 blah. So that consistency is huge. And, as you said, being able to hedge and overcome some of those other challenges. For folks who are thinking about coming to Ghana, maybe they have a story similar to yours and they want to come back and do something innovative and creative. What would be the best part about being an entrepreneur and having a business here in Ghana?
I think the market in Ghana is a lot more forgiving than elsewhere. I think people are more willing to give startups a chance than they are elsewhere. So you can experiment a little bit more here. You can try new things. You can see what works. So it's not as grand a scale yet. It's getting there, but it's not as grand a scale yet. So your mistakes, small mistakes, you can learn from them a lot quicker. I think outside you make a mistake and that really can break the whole business.
Yeah, it's true. So someone out there again who may be watching this, and actually I have someone in mind right now I had a conversation with recently where they love to bake, but they say, you know what, I'll never be able to do that as a real job because who would buy what I have, right? I just can't make any money doing that. Someone watching this who may not want to open up a shop such as yours, but just have a vision and a dream. What would be some encouragement or motivation you would provide for that person?
I would say that the whole bacon sector, the whole market is very, very, very wide. And I think there's a lot of concentration currently in Ghana on a very small niche of that market. There's so much left to do. And it always takes that one person to start and build that kind of lane for themselves. And you'd see that it picks up. Developing a market or developing a particular sector is hard work, but once you do it, you will see the sector grow. And competition, all those things, those are great because they bring in new customers as well. So I would say that yes, there's a lot to do. There's no such thing as no customer. You will definitely get somebody who would love what you're doing as well. Wow. As long as you're doing it with love, doing it well as well.
Wow. I think that's a great way to end, doing it with love. I know you're very busy. I know you got flights to catch because you're internationally known. You're all traveling all around the world. So, thank you so much for sitting down with me and taking the time to provide that insight for people. I'm sure it's going to help them. And I'm sure that, when folks come in, they'll be excited to come in and get some of this joy that I will be experiencing in a second.
Yes, you will.
In a second. And thank you all so much for tuning in to another episode. If you like this video, make sure you do what? Subscribe and like it. Until next time, peace.